Hi guys, and welcome to the lesson 30 of Calisthenics Kidz. This is going to be our last lesson, so we are going to finish with a bang with probably the hardest movement challenge that we've had so far. But before we get there, what you're going to need is to make sure you've got enough space. You're going to need a wall for the end challenge, not going to give anything away. But before we do that, let's remind ourselves of some warm-up movements we've been focusing on so far. So we're going to start with the Frogger, and I want you to try and get as high as you can by pushing hard through the floor. So push hard through the floor, and then control your way up, back down. And then all I want you to do is raise your hands nice and tall. So hips tall, then hands tall. So hips tall, and then hands tall. Don't worry if you haven't quite got that in the locker. You're just trying to push as hard through the floor as you can. And even if this is what your Frogger looks like, we're still controlling our way back down to the floor. And then hands up after. Let's try that once more. So push hard through the floor. And then hands up in front of you. Okay, next movement we're going to do is our bear movement. We're going to try this in all directions just to make sure we're nice and loose and warmed up. So recap on the bear, bum up as tall as you can, and then all we're going to do is move opposite arm and opposite leg. So bum up in the air, opposite arm, opposite leg. I'm going to start off by going forwards. So when we're doing this, we're keeping our chin on our chest, we're moving opposite arm, opposite leg. To make it even more pretty, I want you to move as precisely as possible. So almost like you're rocking from your heel to your toe and the back of your hand to your fingertips. So heel, toe, and back of your hand to your fingertips. Let's try and go backwards as well. See what that's like from a coordination perspective. And then once we've done that, I want you to almost imagine you're snaking your way in a little slalom. So if you need it, just pop down a couple of markers. So maybe you've got a pillow, and let's come in and out of our pillows. So I'm going to start with my bum up in the air. This time I'm still moving opposite arm, opposite leg, but I'm almost trying to come around the pillows, and if I'm able to, I'm going to come backwards throughout them as well. So by crossing behind the body and coming across the body, we're working on skill, coordination, and if we can come backwards as well, we end up developing some strength in some weird and wonderful positions. So that's our bear. Now let's see who can remember the Frogger, which we've also previously worked on. So with the Frogger, we're going to land hand, hand, foot, foot. So let's try that. So again, push the floor away, hand, hand, foot, foot. And again, I want big celebration arms to finish. So hand, hand, foot, foot. So hand, hand, foot, foot, celebration arms. Let's try that again. Hand, hand, foot, foot, celebration arms. And let's try that once more. So last one, few neck rolls just for good measure. Hand, hand, foot, foot, celebration arms. And all I want to see us do from here is, can we just lean slightly to the left, then slightly to the right. And all I want you to do from there is draw me the biggest semicircle that you can. You're allowed to shift your body weight, but you're not allowed to move your feet. So you can keep your feet flat on the floor, draw me the biggest semicircle, and then sit back down. How big can you draw your circle? So notice my feet don't move, I'm just moving my hips. Okay, relax. Next thing I want you to do is, we're just going to see whether we can go from this position, slowly bring the knees down, and swim our way back into our bottom position. How easy can we do this? Can mum and dad do this as well? Maybe not. Okay, next move we're going to work on is a bear that's pretty low to the floor. So all you're going to do is hover your knees off the floor. So push through the floor, hover your knees off the floor, and if you're really skilled, you'll be able to move without your hips going all over the place. So a little way you can test this is if you've got a pillow, if you've got a ball, if you're really good, maybe you can practice a tray of drinks on your back. So I've got my pillow on my back, I've got hands under shoulders, knees under hips, and all I'm going to do is just walk forward. So pillow is easier, a ball is much harder. So can I walk forward from this position? Teeny tiny steps, I'm not moving too quickly. And then from there, maybe I can go backwards as well. So teeny tiny steps. So using a pillow is level 1. Using something like a ball or a book would be level 2. And if you're really confident, tray, drinks, see how you get on with that. I'd be very interested to see some videos. Now we're going to try and do that but moving sideways. So I'm going to use my pillow, but if I was super confident, I might even place a bottle of water on the back there. So again, something on the back, and all we're going to do from here, knees off the floor, we're just going to go hands together, feet apart, hands together. So all we're doing is changing the distance between our hands and our feet. So when the hands are narrow, the feet are wide, and when the feet are narrow, the hands are wide. Okay, have a rest there. Now, in the movement challenge at the end, we're going to end up completely upside down. We've worked on a lot of skills that get us there, but today we are going to get completely upside down. So just to practice that a little bit, all I want to see you do is pop your bum up in the air, and all I want to see is how far forward can you lean without falling over. So I'm here, I could be on my toes, that gives me a little bit of lean. How far forward can I lean without falling over? So all I want you to practice is start with your weight back in your feet like this, and then how far forward can we lean? Let's do that once more. How far forward can we lean? And then just to bring that up a notch, what I want you to do is we're gonna practice a little bit of stability and balance work. So we are gonna try just to touch the opposite shoulder. So just to make it really easy to start off with, all we're gonna do is we're gonna push our bum up in the air. We can keep our heels flat if we're able to. Just starting off nice and easy. Can we touch the opposite shoulder? So this, still pretty easy if we're flexible back here. Can we touch our opposite shoulder? Now, if that's easy, what I want you to do is drive your body weight forwards. So, rather than being in this position, we're gonna come forward slightly, so our heels are off the ground. Can we touch the other shoulder? So can we do that? And what we're trying to avoid is looking like a dog that's wagging its tail. So we want to make sure our hips stay as quiet and still as possible. So can I touch my opposite shoulder? Again, this isn't easy. Okay, have a rest. Now, if that's feeling difficult, I want you to stay at that level as we go on to the next stability challenge. But if that's feeling pretty good, we're going to take it up another level. We're going to put our feet onto something like a sofa or a chair, just to elevate ourselves even more. So we're working towards getting vertical. So if you want to make this easy, keep your feet on the floor. If you want to make it harder, pop your feet on a sofa. And you're going to end up in almost a position like that. So I'll show you in a second. So I'm going to pop my feet on the sofa, and I'm going to start off in a press-up position, and all I'm going to do is walk my hands in without moving my feet. So my bum's up in the air. Now this is difficult, so we're just going to try. Can we go from press-up position? Can we walk our hands in? Let's see if we can do that first and foremost. So let's try that again. Just walking our hands in, hold for a second, walk our hands back to press-up. Let's try that once more. So walk your hands in, hold for a second, walk your hands back to a press-up. Okay, have a rest. Now, make sure you're not just doing this by yourself. Get mum and dad, challenge them to see if they can do it, because this is going to be something that's fun for the whole family and certainly not easy. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to try our shoulder taps with our feet elevated. If you want to make this easier, stay in a horizontal position, so like a press-up. If you want to make it harder, you're going to get your bum up as high as you possibly can. So I'll show you easy, then I'll show you difficult. In fact, let me just spin the camera around so you can see what I mean. Okay, So I've got a sofa behind me. So I'm going to show you the easy way, then I'm going to show you the hard way. So easy way, I'm going to start with a lot of my leg on the sofa. So all I'm trying from here is, can I touch the opposite shoulder without my hips going everywhere and without sinking in like this. So this is the easy one, popping my opposite hand to my opposite shoulder. Okay, so that was relatively easy. I use the word relatively, depending on how we're feeling. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to get our bum up as high in the air as we can. So, going to go bum up in the air, and can I touch my opposite shoulder from here? Now this is really difficult. Wider feet will make this slightly easier. Closer feet will make it harder. Also, the closer I am to here, the closer my hands are to the sofa, the harder that's going to be. Now it's your turn. If you're trying this at home with your kids, make sure you tag Calisthenics Kidz in your efforts. So that is the last thing we're going to do before today's movement challenge, which is going to be the hardest movement challenge we've done so far. Again, don't worry if you can't do it, because we're not going to make things easy for you here, but we want to see where you're at. So for this movement challenge, today you're going to need a wall of some sort. Now, if you've got a wall that has, so I've got a wall here, if it's next to another one, that's going to really help in today's movement challenge. That's going to make it slightly easier. If not, it's going to make it difficult. And what I would advise is that make sure you're doing this with mum and dad, because you want to make sure that if you feel like you're going to fall over, mum or dad is there to catch you. So today's movement challenge is going to be, can you get up against the wall, and can you get in a position where you start with your belly facing the wall, and then you're going to try and stay stable whilst you end up with your back to the wall. We're going to get there in a second, but first we're going to work on climbing up that wall. So let me just move the camera. Okay, so first things first, you're going to start off almost in a press-up position with your feet against the wall. You're going to push the floor away and try and get as close to the wall as you can. Going to tuck our t-shirts in to start off with, and if you've got specs on, you might want to take them off. So what I'm going to do is start with, I'm going to bring my feet up to the wall. Now, can I get this, the closer you are to the wall, the more difficult this is going to be. So, again, I'm only doing this if I'm able to, and I'm pushing the floor away. Again, I might want someone beside me. So here, I'm pushing tall. I'm going to hold for a couple of seconds if I'm able to, and then I'm going to come back down. So as I come back down, we're going to try and keep that somewhat controlled. What we want to avoid is getting to the wall and then just crumpling. So we're pushing ourselves back, certainly not easy. The further away our hands are from the wall, the easier that is. The closer we get, the more difficult that is. Now, I would recommend pausing this video and having 2 or 3, even 4 attempts at this. Do one, have a long rest, and then go back into another one. Because these aren't easy, especially if this is the first time you've done this. Now, our movement challenge today, we'll start off with our chest against the or belly against the wall, and then we're going to try and rotate to end up back in the position that we started in. If you've got a wall that is close by and your mum and dad say it's okay, then feel free to cheat a little bit and use this wall. So that would almost be level 1, if you will, still pretty darn difficult. Level 2 is to use one wall and one wall only to be able to flip yourself 360. Now I'm going to try level 2, but if that starts to fail, then I'm going to use this wall to help me out. So we're not making things easy. All I want to see is, can we start off in one position, and can we end up in a position where we have flipped, ideally, 360. So now I've used that wall for assistance, and in fact, I'm going to change the movement challenge and just say, if you can get 180, then congratulations, you have done the movement challenge. So you're going to start with your chest against the wall, and then can you get in a position where you can rotate so your back is against the wall. If you are able to do a 360, we'll call that level 3, You can do a 360 using just one wall. That's level 3. Definitely tip my hat to you. I want to see that. Tag Calisthenics Kidz if you can do it. Level 2 is being able to use just one wall and rotate from front to back. And level 1, use a secondary wall to rotate front to back. A very difficult challenge, as you've seen today. And thank you for following the lessons from start to finish. Hope you found them useful. We've been trying to improve strength, movement skill, and confidence in children using bodyweight training. If you've got any questions, then reach out to me via Todd Davidson P2P Coaching, either on Instagram, Facebook, or YouTube, and drop me a message. So I hope you found this series useful, and I will catch you again sometime soon.